Hello, class. I haven't spoken with you in a little while, and I wanted to make sure that I had a chance to touch base with you and point out a few key things about the persuasive essay. So, what I wanted to talk to you about is, first of all, your point of concession that is required as a part of the persuasive essay. If you'll remember from your reading in chapter 18, it talked about using the Rogerian strategy, and Rogerian strategy really focuses on acknowledging the opposition. This is one of the reasons that we do this is because it makes us seem like a reasonable person. If you've ever had a conversation with somebody who has refused to see your point of view on an issue at all, no matter how good and logical your argument is, they just absolutely refuse to see it because they're so deeply entrenched in their own beliefs. You know the frustration that comes with that. And by using Rogerian strategy, what we do is we acknowledge a point that the opposition has, and that makes us sound like more reasonable people. Because if I think that you cannot even hear my point of view, then I'm going to just completely shut down and I'm not even going to listen to your ideas because that means you are not, in my mind, a reasonable person. So we like when we're having an argument, a disagreement, and trying to persuade someone to our particular side, what we really want to do is we want to do that with someone who is a reasonable person. So by using the Rogerian strategy and pointing to something that the other side has to say and acknowledging why that is a reasonable point, we are making our own argument really stronger in the end because our audience is more willing to listen to us. That brings me to the next point, which is the partners. So part of the reason I have you work as teams is so that you can actually help one another out with the Rogerian strategy. As you're building your research and you're finding great points to support your point of view, one of the things that you can discuss with your research partner is probably some of your better points. And you can even share maybe one or two of the pieces of information that support your best points so that your partner can use that in their opposition statement as they're acknowledging the opposition. They can use your part, that little part of your research, to document in their essay when they are making that point of concession. So when so that's just one way of helping each other out. You're already doing the research for your point of view anyway. So if you share that with your partner, then you're helping them with their point of concession. So that's one of the reasons that I have you work as teams. And then the other reason that I have you work as teams is really just to help one another out. One of the things that you may have already found, or if not, you will find in life, is that we most likely, no matter what you're going to do for work, no matter why you're in school, what you're studying, because whatever it is that you're hoping to do when you're finished with this, whether you're going to be a teacher, a nurse, a mechanic, an accountant, it doesn't matter. Almost every single field now relies on some form of collaboration. And I say that one from experience. Obviously, as a teacher, we use collaboration all the time. Teachers constantly get together and discuss ways of improving. But my husband owns an auto repair shop. Actually, he owns two auto repair shops. And he collaborates, first of all, with other business owners to find out some maybe innovative ways of marketing or, maybe streamlining his business. So he collaborates with other business owners as a business owner. But he also collaborates with his other mechanics, and they collaborate with one another. A lot of times when they're having to, they're troubleshooting a particular job, they get together if they haven't figured it out on their own, and they troubleshoot together and they collaborate ideas. It's just a normal part of our daily existence. We do it without even realizing it sometimes. Well, in an academic setting, one of the reasons we do that is to help you continue to practice that skill. And so I have you working together so that you can help one another out, that it will be a beneficial partnership that will allow you both to strengthen your overall essay. So, but that said, what's the thing that most students hate the most about team projects? Usually it's, especially if you tend to be a high achiever, you're really driven by your grades maybe. If you are that type of a student, then one of the drawbacks is you can sometimes be left holding the bag and you're left doing all of the work. Obviously, as a teacher, I clearly enjoyed being a student, and so as that type of a student, I hated it when I would have someone in my group or maybe the entire group that didn't do their part of the work. And so basically I would just pick up all the slack and do all of the work, and then they would get my grade, essentially. And I found that extremely frustrating. And most students do. And unfortunately, in the real world, that happens as well. Sometimes you collaborate on things in the business world, and everybody gets the credit, even though not everybody did the work. But that aside, I know as a student, I always found that frustrating. So I try to structure this so that it's really a win-win. If you have a great partner and everything is working well and you guys are really supporting one another, it is a wonderful experience for you. If your research partner is maybe not so great and not holding up their end of the bargain, well, you know what? I am sorry for that. I really do try to encourage everyone and make it so that everybody can work well together, which is part of the reason why I have you choose your topic, so that at least hopefully both of you have interest in what you're writing about. But sometimes people just for whatever reason aren't able to fully participate in the group forum. If that happens, then it does kind of stink. I'll be the first to admit it, but it doesn't negatively affect your grade at all, because think of it this way. If I didn't do it in groups, you would have had to do the entire assignment on your own anyway, right? So by doing it in the groups, you hopefully have someone who will help you out, which is great. If you don't, then you're just kind of back to doing it the way that you would have done it anyway. So it doesn't really matter whether your partner really helps or doesn't help. But if they do, it's really beneficial. And so all of that said, that's not a license for some of you to slack off and not help your partner. Work together. Don't let somebody else carry the ball and share a bunch of information with you and you give nothing in return. That's not how you want to go through life. Really work on this. Look at this opportunity and look at this class the same way you do your job. I understand there's always the urgency of the immediate. And for many of you, the urgency of the immediate is to go to work because you have to pay your bills. And I get that. Believe me, I really do get that. I think I told you guys at the very beginning of the semester, and if I didn't, by the time I didn't go to college right away, I got married right out of high school. My husband and I lived overseas for a few years because he was in the service. We came back to the States. We started our family. I didn't go back to college until we had 2 children, and I worked. So, because at the time he did not own his auto repair shops, he was a mechanic. So I had to work, and I went to school, and I had a husband, and I had 2 children. So believe me, I get the urgency of the immediate. You know what? Sometimes you just have to go to work because you have to pay the bills. But that said, that's not a reason to slack off on your academics, because the whole point of you being here is so that you can eventually finish this and move on, and hopefully that immediate need of paying those bills becomes less because you have a better job, because you're advancing in your career. Like I said, I went through that. I had to do it all, and I worked my way through college and eventually finished school, got my first teaching job at a high school, did that for many years, went back to school, did it all over again, and now I'm doing really what I set out to do in the first place, which is teach college, and I love it. But it took a long time for me to get here. And I'm not saying that to brag on me. I'm saying that to say I understand where a lot of you guys are living right now, what a lot of you are struggling with, but I also know that you have to prioritize, and we have to make our education a priority, because if you don't, it will, first of all, there are bad habits to get out of. And secondly, it is easy to stop going to school, to not finish a class, to withdraw, to do all of those things, and to be stuck in that same circle. And you don't want to do that. You want to finish. you want to do well, and you want to move on to whatever your dream is, and I hope that you get to do that. All right, I'm going to try to keep this to under 10 minutes. I see I'm at 9:40, so that's all I had to say, and I hope you guys are having a great week. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me or post them in the Class Connections discussion board, and I will get back to you. All right, have a great day. Bye.